You learn something new every day. So, do you know what? I'm just having a look through a fabulous new book. It is just remarkable. Some amazing words and also, more importantly, some amazing pictures as well. The words I like, 'cause I love the way, because Joe is going to talk about his book, but I love the way you've highlighted various words, because they actually make a difference, because they then stick out and they tell you exactly where you might find some of these creatures. So that's the important thing. Anyway, what were you doing when you were 10? Probably going to school, doing your homework, playing in the park. Probably not doing the homework. Well, 10-year-old Joe from Whitney has written and published not one. How many books have you published?
2, Phil.
Shall I put that in capital letters? 2 books.
Yes, please.
Okay, right. It's done. All right, so it's in capital letters, 2 books. Not just 1, but 2 books. He's a bit of an Oxfordshire celebrity. You may remember that Joe won a BBC Radio Oxford Make a Difference award. And were you 10 then, or were you 9 then when you won?
I was 9 then.
Wow.
And then I turned 10.
9. What are you going to do when you get to 12? You'll have a CBE or something, won't you? Anyway, environmental campaigning. He's published, as we were just saying, 2 books. He's teamed up with 12-year-old wildlife nature photographer Zach. You've got a big camera as well, haven't you, Zach?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a massive camera, isn't it?
Yes.
And they've published a book together. It's called The UK's Amazing Animals. And yes, Joe, Zach, and Joe's mum, Nadie, is with me. Hello, Nadie. You've hidden behind my computer screen. But anyway, hello, Nadie. Nice to have you there.
Hi, Phil. Good morning.
Good morning. All right. So I'm a bit starstruck. I've got 2 authors in here. I'll start with Joe because you've done all the words, haven't you? What is it about? I've got to ask about animals first. What is it about animals? You've always been interested.
Yeah, so when I was little, I at the age of 4, I used to come home from nursery and I used to watch Sir David Attenborough's programs. They were all about animals that I used to watch, and I just really liked them for some reason. And then I got to learn about climate change and got a bit more serious with the planet.
Okay, so that's the key to the story, of course, because then that's how you ended up with the Make a Difference award.
Yeah.
So you've always been fascinated by not only wildlife, but the environment as well, because we all have to share that.
Yes, we do.
What is your concern then about the environment?
We're not taking care of it properly. Like, especially in the UK, people think climate change and other environmental issues are like far away in places like Australia and the Amazon rainforest. Look into your town and try and find as much wildlife as you can. Okay, maybe a few birds, but actually the UK has the lowest biodiversity rate in Europe. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was on one of the lowest biodiversity lists for animals in the whole world, because we don't have that much wildlife or biodiversity, and habitats are going down. There's a lot of infrastructure, so it's not really a good place for nature.
Wow. By the way, Nadie, Joe has always been like this, has he? He's always been very, very keen on just nature, animals and the environment. That's almost been innate within him.
Yes, that's him, not Joe's daddy or me. This is something entirely new to us, and then we learn a lot of things from him, and we're still learning every day. He is my teacher.
Your wildlife encyclopedia.
Yes, yeah. He's my Google.
Do you know what? Best Google in the lot, Joe.
Yes.
All right. Mind you, you've got Zach here who can take photos as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you always been fascinated by pictures?
Yes. I just started about a year ago, and I got interested by my mum, who loves videography, and I started with my dad's old camera, and it took me here.
Wow. I mean, it's a real skill as well, isn't it? Because it's patience. It's not just, okay, look, there's a rabbit there, but you've actually got to wait for the moment, haven't you? Or do you just keep taking photos and then hope in amongst that is the genius shot?
Yes, there's a lot of planning to it, but yeah, you do have to be really patient.
Right, okay. And looking at this then, Joe, the idea was obviously to talk about the wildlife, wasn't it? So the book is called The UK's Amazing Animals, Amazing Pictures. Look at that. Joe, the bottom there, Zach. Is it weird seeing your name on a book?
Well, since I've published 2 books already.
Oh, you're used to it now, yeah.
Sort of. But it's quite cool whenever I publish a new book. I start jumping around when I see the Amazon website.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I would as well. There you are. Is that, it's the first time you've been on a book?
Yes, yes.
So that was exciting as well, seeing your name there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and some photos that you've taken and some of the words. So how long did it take you to do there, Joe?
So if we go back, there was a Christmas fair at our school. I was selling my books and Zach was selling his calendars. He put photos and he had a calendar of 2024. By the way, they were really good. Zach was my first customer and I also bought one of his calendars. When I had a look at his photos, obviously I would think, wow, they're actually really good. So I wanted to do something with it. I said the last time I came here, I think I said that I'm going to be publishing another 2 books. The book about plastic pollution, which yes, it will be coming out soon, and then a book about pine martens. I asked Zach if he had any photos about pine martens, but he said no. Zach, I don't blame you because pine martens are actually really rare. It clearly says that in the book. You can't find them in many places in England.
Yes.
Yeah. So then I decided to write a book about deer with Zach. And then I realized that wouldn't be enough pages. I can't sell it for much on Amazon and I don't get enough money for charities. So then we wrote the UK's Amazing Animals. We started with 10, but we went a little bit over just to help with the page settings. And we dedicated this book to our school, Pinewood, which is really nice. They let us thrive with our dreams and they let us follow our passions. And so we dedicated it to them. And all the money that we make goes to the charity. So like whenever I write a book, I don't keep any money. I always donate it to charity. So we are donating it to the Vale Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre, which is based in Wiltshire, where me and Zach both live. So we like to help animals locally, which is pretty nice.
That is, mind you, there are not many whales in Wiltshire, but anyway, Wales isn't very far away. It's just down the M4. Zach, the photography then, so obviously you can do it locally, but there are some things. You were saying that you had to go quite a long way to take a picture of the stag.
Yes, I travelled to Scotland in hopes of photographing the stag, and I first started off going to like a deer farm where they kept deers enclosed, but that didn't quite work out, so I was going back to where I was staying and I found a herd of deer just out on an open field and I managed to get one of my favourite pictures of a stag I've ever gotten.
Yeah, you've taken a few stag photos then from the sounds of it as well. I mean, I love the hair as well. I mean, actually find a hare is, I mean, they're not they're like the pine martens, they're quite rare.
Yes, that was actually just like a 20-minute walk on the Ridgeway.
Oh my goodness!
Near my house. So,
yes, I mean there are obviously photos like robins. There are plenty of robins around, but a grey heron again, you know, and you beautifully on a sort of branch there by some water. I mean, that's amazing. Did you get them to pose? Get a pose for me, please. Thank you. That's nice. Red kites, and there are plenty of those. I mean, that's one of the animals that has thrived.
Yes.
Definitely. I mean, they're doing very, very nicely. Thank you, Nadia. When it comes to the books, so it's a bit of a process. Do you get involved in the whole publishing process? And you know, because it's that I imagine is something you if nothing else. If you're selling, you've got to be an adult anyway to do that sort of thing. Yes.
Yeah. Lot of work involved with that, Phil. My weekends are talking to illustrators, editors, proofreading, this and that. It's a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of time and effort. And to encourage him, I must say this wasn't an easy journey for him. You know, everything looks nice. We talk about climate change, you know, protecting environment and everything, but at the same time, not everybody believe in climate change is real, you know. So he get lots of criticism, nasty comments daily basis. So it's like I have different duties to do, you know, protecting him, you know, like a work like shield, you know, and then. As a mother, yes, of course, I got a lot of things to do at home and I have another 6-year-old daughter as well. And at the same time, you know, encourage him with all these difficulties to pursue his dreams, you know, follow his dreams and achieve something one day. And in return, to do something for the country, it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. But, you know, in the years to come, he's going to be the new David Attenborough, so he'll be travelling the world. So, you know, he'll ring you from some far-flung place in the middle of the Amazon or something like that. So I'm on manoeuvres there, Mum. So, but, you know, all right, what do you want to do, you know, your as a career?
So when I'm older, I would really like to go to university and study something to do with environmental sciences and geography, things like that. And then as a job, I'd like to do something that helps the planet. So probably like a conservationist or an environmental engineer. Both those jobs actually help the planet, something that can help our planet thrive and wildlife to grow.
More make a difference awards for you then on the way, I imagine. And you too there, Zach. So what, is photography for you, or is there something else that you'd like to do in the future? You're obviously going to be helping Joe over the years publish all his books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to get into videography soon and work in a crew, like for maybe like BBC. That's my goal for older. But right now I'm just working with photography and helping Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to keep you busy, isn't it? I've got to, because we're about to go to the travel, so I can't speak to you again, Joe. But I can say goodbye. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you, Phil. I just want to say a quick thank you to Mrs. Lucy Llewellyn. She's one of the English teachers at our school, and she helped edit the book. She got it a lot of times just to check. She spent a lot of time rereading, so it was really good for her. Also, my next 2 books will be out soon. Well, my book about plastic pollution, I'll get the photos in a few, the illustrations in a few weeks.
Yes.
And then my book about pine martens, they'll have to wait until next year.
When you find some pine martens. You've got to look for them first. They're little devils, aren't they? They're a bit rare. Natty, so how do you get the books?
It will be available on Amazon soon. It is still under review, so it takes 72 hours once you upload it into Amazon. So you'll be able to buy a copy very soon on Amazon.co.uk. Well,
that's simple, isn't it? Do you know, it's been a pleasure meeting all 3 of you. Thank you very much indeed. Congratulations, and I look forward at some stage, I'm sure, of speaking to you again. Guaranteed. That is Joe, Zach and Natty, and that book is available very soon, The UK's Amazing Animals. It's BBC Radio Oxford.